Hi everyone and welcome to the next tutorial on how to make Dmods. In this tutorial we're going to start looking at variables, and first we're going to look at global variables. And you might be sitting there asking, Rob, what is a global variable? And basically what it allows us to do is create a plot. And the way it does this is a global variable is any text that you choose, you can call it anything, that stores any number that you choose. So it can be any text, and that text basically look at it as a number. It represents whatever number you want. That's how we're going to look at it for now, for simplicity of explanation, until we get into the more advanced tutorials about variables. But basically a variable is a text that stores a number, and you're always going to put the ampersand sign behind it, the and sign, like we have before the current sprite, the and current sprite. That sign's going to go behind all variables as well. So that might be confusing for now, but just keep watching and it'll become clearer. What I want you to do is open the Dmod we were making, which is OOTR, and we're going to start creating a plot now. So we have this green guy here, and let's say we know we have a choice menu and all that good stuff, but let's actually add another option into this choice menu now. We have the three options: I'm sorry, what's your problem, and bananas suck, after the initial conversation. And now we're gonna add I feel like a quest. And so that's going to be result number 4 now, because 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add a fourth result if end result equals 4. And what you see here, like with the end result and the end current sprite, that's exactly how you're going to write a variable. You're going to have that end sign there, and then the excuse me for calling it the end sign, it's the ampersand or whatever it is. And then you're going to have your text, and it's going to store a number, just like this result at the moment is storing a number, but rather than it being part of a choice menu or whatever, you're going to choose the number it stores. It's not going to depend on a choice or whatever. So you'll see more about that in a minute, but let's just go on and we'll write Dink can say I feel like a quest, and we're going to have the await 200 there because we're changing from Dink to another one. And then we're going to have the guy say really? What? Oh, I have a quest I need completed. Forgive me for my bad grammar and stuff, I'm just making this up as I go along. And that's going to be said by the current sprite, so that's why I put and current sprite there. And then the next one is Dink again, and Dink's going to say what a coincidence. What do you need done? And then the guy's gonna talk, and we'll say can you please go and shut up that lame tree. Say stop. And he's also gonna, oh sorry, that's meant to be color coded to the guy, so we need the command say stop, you know, the one to the southeast. and then Dink's gonna say no worries, consider it done. Okay, so now we have a fourth result here in this command, and if Dink picks that, he's going to say, I feel like a quest. And then the green guy, which is the current sprite, is going to say, oh hang on, I've got two Windink edits open too, which is the current sprite, is going to say, really, I have a quest I need completed. And then Dink's going to say, what a coincidence, what do you need done? And then the current sprite's going to say, can you please go and shut up that lame tree? And then he goes, you know, the one to the southeast. And then Dink says, no worries, consider it done. So now we've started to establish a plot. So let's save this script and test that out and make sure that fourth choice command works. Always test your stuff out. Make sure it's working and all that good stuff. Let's go in and have a look. Hi, my name is Dink Smallwood. Hi, my name is Random Dude and I like bananas. Wow, that's cool. Do you have any cookies? No, go away. I no longer respect you. So now we have this fourth option. I feel like a quest, and we'll pick that. I feel like a quest. Really? I have a quest I need completed. What a coincidence. What do you need done? Can you please go and shut up that lame tree? You know, the one to the southeast? No worries, consider it done. Now the reason I've included, you know, the one to the southeast is the player starts off on this screen and they might not know where it is yet, so then he can go southeast and find the tree really easily. We've got a bit of lag here because it's changing the theme. So the player can come down here and see, hi, hello, how's it going? And if you push it, it says, I am 3 years old, ha ha ha. That's not funny. Now please move. Oh, you truly think you can push me around? I guess not. So basically now the player knows that that's the tree. So our main goal now is to make it so once the player has talked to that guy and the guy's given him the quest, to make us be able to shut this tree up. So we need this tree to say something else or something else to happen. And the way we do that is we use a variable. And what that's going to allow us to do is store a number in a text. And we're going to go and make a variable now, and I'll show you how to do that. So you want to open back up your Dink Smallwood folder. You want to go into the OOTR, into the story folder, and you want to open main.c. Now, if you have a look here, all these here, they're all global variables, but they're ones that are required by the game, so they're automatically created, so we leave that how it is. Now, down here we have the ones that we can add ourselves, our own variables, and you'll see it's got two comment lines here, add your own globals here. Remember, you only get about 200 of them total, so be sure you don't go overboard. So yeah, you only get 200. Now, that automatically creates one for us here that isn't needed, that we can use, so we're actually just going to use that. But if you want to go ahead and delete that line, and we'll rewrite it to show you how you make a global variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to call the global variable end story. So what we want to do is we want to write make global int bracket, and then we want to put our variable that we want to make in quotation marks, and that is the end story. So remember, you can call it whatever you want, but you always have that ampersand sign before it, the end sign, and then comma, and then you write the number that you want it to store straight up, and usually you write 0. So basically that end story basically now represents the number 0. It's just, that's what it is. Just, we'll look at it like that. It's the number 0. So now we'll close that and save it. And now we can use that variable to allow us to accomplish this scenario here. So let's open back up the green guy. And what we can do is we can make some if statements with this variable that we've created now to enable the game to see what the player has done. So first of all, once the player has got this quest here, we want to change the variable so it's a different number. So what you want to do is, after all this text and after he's given the quest, we can write end story space equals space 1 semicolon. So now instead of 0, this is storing the number 1. So now it's changed to 1. So we'll close this now and save it. So Dink's going to talk to that guy, and after he's got the quest, now the end story is going to represent number 1. So now if we go down here to this tree and edit that, we can add an if statement up here. So what we can do is we can write if end story equals 0, then all this will happen, and I'm going to indent because I like to. So basically this means if the player hasn't gotten the quest yet, then this original text is going to happen. And then we're going to write if end story equals 1, and then we're going to write something else. So after this if statement, this is only going to happen, the stuff in between these two brackets is only going to happen if the variable end story equals 1, and the end story only equals 1 if the player has received this quest. So you can see how that's starting to work now. So now we can write what's going to happen there. So we can make Dink say, hi, how are you? It's kind of similar to what was said before, and then we can have the tree say, make sure we use the same color codes as well, which is color code 6. I am truly good. And current sprite, because it's the sprite that the script's attached to, which is the tree. And then we're going to have Dink say, whoops, hang on, I've accidentally put a slash there. We're going to have Dink say, yeah, about that. I need you to shut up. And then we're going to have the tree say why. And then Dink will say, hang on, we'll put a weight 200 there because I forgot to do that. And then Dink will say, you are a tree. You're not meant to talk. And you're lame. And then we'll have the tree come back here, and we'll have the tree say, well, as long as I'm here, I'm alive. And then we'll have Dink say, that doesn't mean you need to talk. And then the tree will go, you truly think so? Ha ha ha. So now that's happened, and now to make it so we can check and make sure the player has had this conversation, we can change the story variable again so it stores a different number. So let's go end story equals 2. So now basically the scenario we've created is this. when the game starts, the end story variable is made by the game and it stores the number 0. So end story equals 0. Dink can talk to this guy and get the quest, which is here. And then once he's got that, the end story will equal 1. Okay, so when the end story equals 1, Dink can then go down to this tree and talk to it, and this new conversation will happen rather than this one. And then once this conversation has happened, Dink knows that the tree isn't going to shut up unless basically it's dead. And then the end story variable changes to 2. So now what we can do here is we can add, actually before we do that, we'll test out what we've got so far. And we'll can start the game. And you'll see if we go down to the tree and talk to it first, at the moment the end story equals 0 because we haven't got that quest yet. And we'll just wait for this screen to change. Hi. Hello, how's it going? And that's all that happens because the end story variable hasn't been changed to 1. And let me just turn this game sound down a bit. There we go, that's better. But if we talk to this guy now, and we get the quest, the end story variable will change to 1. And then we can go down here and talk to this tree. Hi, how are you? And see, we've just found a bug. That's the reason you like to test stuff out. That was quite stupid of me. We forgot to freeze Dink and the tree. We don't really need to freeze the tree, sorry, just we need to freeze Dink because the tree can't move. So before this conversation, add freeze 1, and then after it we want to add unfreeze 1. And that will make sure Dink can't move and stuff while he's talking. So now let's go and do that again. We'll get this quest. And just skip it all because we know what's going on. And then we'll talk to this tree. Hi, how are you? I am truly good. Yeah, about that. I need you to shut up. Why? You are a tree, you're not meant to talk, and you're lame. Well, as long as I'm here, I'm alive. That doesn't mean you need to talk. You truly think so? Ha ha ha. So then the end story variable changes to 2. So basically, what we've created there is a little scenario where the... sorry, my game's just frozen. It should come back in there we go. Where Dink can ask for a quest, and then he's given the quest to tell that tree to shut up, and the tree refuses to shut up while it's still alive. And that was all accomplished through the use of a global variable that we created called endStory that stores whatever number that we choose. And you can see how that enables us to make a plot. Now, one thing I'd like to add before I end this tutorial, there is still a problem with this. Now, let's go back into the game for a sec. What you might notice is Dink can get this quest. We'll get it now. And now we'll go down to the tree. And we'll talk to the tree. And now after that conversation, the end story now equals 2. But if Dink goes back up to the green guy and talks to him again, that option there is still available. And if Dink chooses it, this conversation is going to happen again. And the story variable is going to go right back to the number 1. So that's going to mess things up if we want other things to happen after we've talked to the tree. And the way we fix that is we make it so once the conversation has happened and the end story changes from 0 to 1, then this option is no longer available. So basically we want to make it so this option is only available until Dink chooses it or in other words, when the end story equals 0. So the way we do that is, it's basically the same as an if statement, but you use it in a choice menu. And the way you do that is, before the choice command, you just put a bracket, and you write end story equals 0, bracket, and then a space. So that's what you do in a choice command. You don't write the if, you just put the bracket and then what the variable must equal for the choice to be shown. And that is how you do it in a choice command. Otherwise, if you're not in a choice command, you always write if and then space and then the brackets. But that's how you do that. And now if we go back into the game, and talk to the guy, oops, I've just talked to him again even afterwards, and you'll see I've got the quest, and now it's disappeared from the menu because the end story equaled 0. So the choice command was able to be displayed because we have that thing here to say that it's only to be displayed if end story equals 0. Okay, and then we've got the quest, and the end story variable has changed to 1. So now it can no longer be displayed because the end story is 1, and this can only be displayed if end story equals 0. So now we can freely go down, talk to the tree. I'm not going to do it again. We can talk to the tree will change the end story to 2, and then the player can't go back and re-talk and re-get the quest and stuff it up, basically. So that's basically the introduction to global variables. I'm going to end the part now, and I'll make a second part of this video to further explain global variables, and then we'll move on to some other variables. So thanks for watching, I hope it was clear enough, and I'll see you next time.